There's been lots of debate, lots of discussion, and lots of controversy around the D word, demonetization, and how it impacts the auto sector has of course become topical now because we've seen November sales being released by the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers. Now, sales are down year on year if you compare November 2016 to November 2015 by about 5.5%. But you've got to consider a couple of things here. The first, most important thing, November 2015 is when you also had Diwali. This year, Diwali fell into October, and which is why I remember a lot of big buying usually happens around Diwali. That was all done before the 1st of November this year. So you have to take that into account when you look at the unfair comparison between the two November sales figures. That said, of course, when Prime Minister Modi first made this demonetization announcement, you instantly saw a drop in footfalls. So for the first week or 10 days, footfalls were pretty badly down. There was a sharp drop across all brands, across all segments, both four and two-wheeler. But what we are getting from industry sources now is that for both segments of vehicles, you are now seeing footfalls back up again. They're back to about 85% up from where they had fallen down. So which is why it tells you that a lot of that confidence is coming back. Now, where are the worry areas for the auto sector? The biggest worry is rural demand could actually drop, and that could be an impact. But before we start to measure the impact, remember to also consider this. December is traditionally a slow month every year in the auto space. Most people like to defer the purchase so that they get the next model year when they buy in January. And so, which is why, again, a December dip is not something to really get alarmed about. It happens every year. This is also a time of the year when a lot of manufacturers like to institute a production shutdown. They like to take their time off at the plant, do a little bit of maintenance work. So again, it's not fair to read too much into that when you're starting to get these announcements from some of the OEMs. Those shutdowns would have happened anyway. Now, coming back to the rural demand, this is where you have to start watching closely, because in the rural space, especially for two-wheelers, a lot of banks and NBFCs don't actually offer finance to a lot of individuals, which is why a lot of purchases for bikes are made with cash. Now, that's where you could start to see an impact. There already is one. A lot of manufacturers, especially players like TVS, Hero, Bajaj, they're already reporting some of this, but it hasn't happened to the extent where alarm bells are ringing. In January is where we have to watch this closely, and both in the rural and urban space, if January numbers dip in an alarming fashion, that's when you'll know the true impact of demonetization on the auto sector. For now, we are saying that there is an impact, but it isn't an alarming one.